Southeast. It is Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu speaks on the station. And of course, I have the regulars on this show. The former Deputy Chief of Staff to Abia State Government, Dr. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Yeah. And also the Southeast Media Aide to Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu, Honorable Madukokuru.
Good morning, Ginika.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, let me start with Dr. Madukwe. How has he been the campaign? I hope it's going on.
Yes, I want to really appreciate Abians, particularly those in Abia North, for their patience, their understanding of the situation that we find ourselves. I want to really, really say thank you to all of them, men and women, youths, and even those who are physically challenged. They've been out there, hearing the news, the voices, the dissemination of information, telling them what is at stake. And it is important with this platform that I say thank you to all of them for listening. And I hope that on the 16th of this month, they will be able to come out and use their PVC to collect the dividends of democracy, because that's what it is all about.
Okay, still talking about this issue of a campaign. Of course, right now, the atmosphere is becoming so charged, and recently the issue of violence, especially in Mboro, one of the communities under Abia North. Doctor, there's this alleged destruction of billboards in Mboro by some thugs, which they said allegedly that the Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu was actually sponsoring them. How true is that?
It's not true at all. It's not true, not at all, and it cannot be true. And the reason why is that they have done everything. They have done everything to smear the image of the great Abia son, Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu. That they said he has died. They said he was in a coma. Now they have seen that they have failed. They are now he is now destroying billboard. I mean, how low are we trying to go in this campaign? Why can't they face facts and issues? Like I come on this radio station, what I tell you, what I speak is facts. You can go and verify them. I came here and I narrated the facts. And you, as a radio station, I'm sure you went out and verified it.
Because I was there. I was at Mboro precisely.
Yes.
I noticed that both the billboards
of the president,
of even APC and that of PDP,
were destroyed. So how can Orji Kalu be destroying his own billboard? But is it possible?
I wonder.
You see, what I will ask those who are running for offices, for political offices, is to focus on facts. If you do not have any validity to be in this race, you go and sit your ass down. You go and sit down somewhere and allow those who have validity to do the work. Yeah. Politics is about contest. It's like a game.
But some people are looking at it this way, that it could be that the former governor actually supervised that. Then, in retaliation, the PDP now went after.
Why? What sense does that make? The man is a popular man. He was a two-term governor. Why will he be supervising? Supervising what? That's why I'm saying, you see, this is just something that I really don't want to get into, in the real sense that it's a shame that somebody can conjure or concoct that a man in the position of a statesman like Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu will be doing so. It's mostly unfortunate. And, I don't know how to categorize it. I really don't know how to respond to such stupidity. I really, when you fail, like they say, a lizard that cannot deliver will say that the mothers are holding the lizard on the ground. That's why, you see the lizard, the stomach is always on the ground. That's an adage of an Igbo man or Igbo nation. If you cannot face facts, tell your people what you are going to do for them or what you have done for them. You know, there is something that has been going on in Nkporo. I was the returning officer in the 2015 general election for the Senate candidate Orji Uzor Kalu. So I can speak with specifics. Can you imagine Nkporo coming with 40,000 votes? They read there, they manipulate there, and they know it. So this time, the game has been taken to them.
The jinx is broken.
The game has been taken to them. They've been exposed. So that is why they are trying to, you know how when you're drowning, you try to grab anything that you see. A drowning man.
Okay.
That's what is happening in Nkporo.
Exactly. You know, Nkporo is the hometown of the deputy governor. And it's still on that, before I come to Honorable Maduka, there's this also alleged death threat by deputy governor, on deputy governor by OUK. I don't know if you've heard that. You know,
that's absurdity. I know Udoka very well. Udoka knows me. As a matter of fact, I met him in December when my auntie was being buried. Late Justice Mrs. Uche was buried. We exchanged pleasantries. I mean, if that is coming from Udoka, I'm very disappointed, because Udoka is not somebody who should be making such utterances at his height, because he knows the gravity of the kind of allegations that he's making.
No, he didn't say it precisely, but some group.
That's what I'm saying, allegedly.
Yes, allegedly.
Who are this group?
Thank you.
Who are this group? What kind of group?
Former commissioner for information.
Who is a former commissioner? ACB Abazwere. Of course, you know his likes. ACB is my friend, by the way.
But you can excuse and forget.
No. What I'm saying is that if it is ACB, I worked with him. He knows me very well. As a matter of fact, he's my good friend. But the point still remains. ACB, that is his stock in trade. I know him and he knows me. And I don't want to discuss ACB because he's my very good friend. You know, in politics, there is propaganda, but you have to be very careful the kind of propaganda that you do. That's why I'm using the word allegedly.
Yeah, it was an alleged.
You know, because I want to make sure that Abians hear the word allegedly, because ACB is my friend. If he made such statement, it's very unfortunate. ACB should have been in Nkporo to see the things that happened in Nkporo. And if somebody wrote something and asked ACB Abazwere to be a fall guy, as we say, I don't want ACB, my very good friend, to be a fall guy. Politics aside, I know him very well. He's a gentleman, but of course, he's a propagandist.
Yes.
And I don't want him to be doing propaganda in this one. I want ACB to actually, you know, get the facts straight. And the facts are, there is no, there is not. Listen, Governor Kalu is the gentlest of them all. Everybody knows. As a matter of fact, those of us who are related to him are sometimes angry that he will welcome those who have really hurt him. We usually sometimes are, as a matter of fact, baffled. Let me use that word, baffled. We are baffled as sometimes his countenance towards the people that have really hurt him. He's a very forgiving man. He has a very forgiving spirit that most of us cannot even find how he does it. And this is true of those who know him. And I'm not here to hold brief for Orji Kalu. I am here to talk about politics. Because, you know, last time I was here, we couldn't conclude because of time frame. That's why I came. Because I want to set the record straight. I want to put the facts on the table so that anybody who wants to debate can be able to say, this is what Dr. Madukwe Kebu said. Not, you know, something that is factual. And it's important, it's imperative that people hear the facts. Because when you are deceived, you don't know what the facts are, you draw the wrong conclusion. And that is why in this election, what is important is, like I started in the beginning, that people should be able to tell you what they have done, including the deputy governor, if he's getting himself involved in this politics. He should be able to say to Nkporo people, I have done this for you, I have done this for you, therefore return me. That's how to do things, not to start saying Orji Kalu threatened me, allegedly. or something happened, allegedly, tell your people. For instance, when I go to Ibere as a former deputy chief of staff, I will say to Ibere people, when I was there, this is what I helped the government of Abia State to contribute to you. And I can point at those things. That is how politics is done. Politics is not done that I go to Ibere, I start saying, oh, you know that at that time, at that point in time, I couldn't do anything for you, so give me another chance. Chances don't usually come that way.
Okay, I'll get back to you. Now to Honorable. There's this allegation, you somehow reacted to it, but this alleged diversion of ecological fund by your principal, especially the one that has to do with Isukwuato Gully erosion, that the money that was given to your principal when he was the governor, it was...
You are asking the wrong guy, because Maduka Okoro was not part of that administration. I am here as deputy chief of staff. You are making a mistake in asking Maduka Okoro. Why? How do you expect him, somebody who did not work in government, to come and give you facts? That's why I'm here.
Okay.
So that corrections can be made.
All right.
If anybody, and I challenge anybody in Abia and in Nigeria, say that there was diversion of any ecological fund, let them come to flow face to face with Dr. Madukwe J.K. Kebu to do the debate. You see, this is why, sometimes it's irritating for people to be saying, alleging. Somebody who worked in government should be able to have a voucher, should be able to have a receipt. There are permanent secretaries, there are directors, there are civil servants in government who can be able to say, this is what we are talking about. Just like when you're doing an investigation, you do thorough investigation, you provide your facts, then you can be able to charge that person to court to be able to win. Not when you throw this allegation, if I were to be Orji Kalu, I will sue the person who is saying that there was an ecological fund missing, so that I will shut them up forever if they cannot produce the facts. So why are you asking Maduka Okoro, who is not in government, who was not in government at that time?
I was, but the question is,
of course,
Mao Habonwa was wrong.
If Mao came here to make that allegation, Mao should be ashamed of himself.
Of course.
Mao should be ashamed of himself, because Mao was doing nothing at that time, so he couldn't have known. He couldn't have. And if Mao, as a senator, cannot come here and produce it, when he was coming, he should have said, this thing I'm about to talk about, this is the evidence. And I challenge Mao to produce. Mao knows me and I know him. We know his capabilities. So if Mao came here talking that kind of rubbish, shame on him. And I repeat with capital letters, shame on him, because he should know that allegation is different from producing facts. And the facts are that there is nothing like that.
But you know what, Doc? I think I don't blame Mao Habonwa, because you know why I don't blame him? Because he's the cry of a drowning man.
That is what I have said before.
He doesn't have facts to produce. Now today he's begging Abians, especially people from Abia North, to vote for him, because he's busy setting up latrines. I'm using the word, I'm quoting him, latrines. He said it, latrines for Ndabia. And I don't know how dividends of democracy can come to you through latrines.
In 2019.
That's his word. I'm not inventing it. He said latrines.
In 2019.
So in 2019 and things like that, somebody who calls himself a senator, and he doesn't understand what dividend of democracy.
What I want to tell Mao, if he has any reputation left, which I know he doesn't, let him build.
He's a senator of the federal.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. Because when he, when he comes here and makes such allegation of an ecological fund missing, that means he's accusing somebody of stealing. Isn't that correct?
Wow.
That's what it is. He needs to bring the facts. And what I'm challenging Mao is that he should concentrate to tell people of Abia North what he has done in 4 years as a senator. I am from Ibere. I want Mao to come back here and tell me what he did in Ibere, because I don't know who my senator is, except as you are explaining it. I don't know. He has never called a stakeholders meeting, which I'm a stakeholder, because somebody who was a former deputy chief of staff and a special advisor to government means that at least I am a stakeholder in what happens in Abia North. Isn't that correct?
What?
Ask him whether he has called us in a meeting to say, okay, let's say I don't belong to his party, but I should be able to see or note in Ibere or in Abia North what Mao Huabunwa has done. What I see on television is the way he's handing over frying pan to people. That's what I have seen. Is that how to be a legislator? That's not how. So let Mao not be talking up. As a matter of fact, let Mao first make sure that from Ohafia to Arochukwu has a good road. Then he can come here and talk about anything. You know, I don't talk like this. But for Mao to accuse somebody of embezzling money when he knows that it is not true,
okay,
it's very sad.
All right, we've been talking about. Let us now come back to your principle. Now the elections are on, but we've not seen maybe the programs. If eventually he clinches the ticket to be there in the Senate, what are we looking at for Abia North people?
If Orji Kalu goes into the Senate, that will be the greatest thing that happened to this state in a very long time. For instance, outside of government, he's been able to talk to the federal government, attracting roads like I have discussed with you several times here. One, because that's why I said I always like fast. One, from where the military people have their checkpoint before, all the way to Ohafia. You know how that road used to be. You know how that road used to be. Is that the same way that road is? Orji Kalu was able to speak to NDDC, convince the federal government that that road is vitally very important. And when I say vitally very important, in capital letters. And they came and did it. Ozuitem, Uzor Kalu, Ozuitem Tribere. Same thing. Now, Abreba Ring Road, Ugweke, Mpa. And then when he now gets to the corridor of power, when he's now an insider, you can imagine what will happen. Free education, I'm sure he's going to pass that legislation. You know, he was the man that started Not Too Young to Run. He employed youths here in Abia. And youths were commissioners.
I'm also interested in the programs he has for, especially those from Isukwuato.
He has programs in agriculture, for example.
The
ecological challenges. As a matter of fact, the other day we were in Isukwuato campaigning. There is this particular place where the contractor leaves all kinds of junk, saying they are doing construction. I don't know who is doing that. That thing has That thing has been there for more than 10 years now. I don't know what kind of a contract that is. During the rainy season, I'm sure you pass that road. That road is not motorable. But the guy keeps leaving all kinds of junks there. Those are the kind of things that if Dr. Uchoga, Orji Kalu of the APC, if they come to power, we are going to find out why that should be so in Abia State, because it doesn't pertain in any other state except Abia. That nonsense has to stop. Abians must start asking questions. You know, I've been here to ask questions. I asked questions about brass. They made adjustment. I asked questions about Niger and Lagos Street. There is no longer bump there or pothole. There was a big gully. They have patched it up, which means this government pretends a lot. It's only when you react that the government will also react all over the world. But I am not a spokesperson to be telling government what to do. A responsible government should be able to take their responsibilities very seriously. And that is what I'm talking about.
Okay, let me come to you, Honorable Maduka. Well, just yesterday, there was this redeployment of CPs, that is Commissioner of Police, in some few states in Nigeria, and Abia will soon have their own. There's this, this mindset that people have once this kind of redeployment comes, that the ruling party, which is your party at the center, they are going to cash in on that kind of opportunity just to make sure that they rig election in their favor, especially in Abia State. What's your take on that?
Well, I detest the word rig. But in Nigerian concept, people don't like working hard. People don't want to be responsible. Now that Abia State, especially Abia people that are in PDP, are crying because there is a lot of deployment. So what the hell is wrong with that? The president has the power to do what he wants to do constitutionally. Now, why are we worried about deployment? Why we should worry about changing system that is not working?
But you know that there are two agencies
Yes.
of government that can influence the outcome of election.
Okay.
INEC and the security agencies. If
How can they influence it?
Of course.
It is you and I that will influence.
But in some cases, you've seen cases where people are being intimidated, especially by the security.
But that intimidation has always been when PDP was in power.
No,
but
we saw
PDP
it.
is not in
We
power.
saw it in election, even in Ekiti State.
Ekiti was an eye-opener for people. Things changed.
Yeah, but your party did that.
No, we didn't do nothing. What did we do?
No,
did we buy votes?
Your party is still the party in power at the center.
Yes.
And I remember in Ekiti, you deployed 30,000. The police deployed about 30,000 personnel.
Because we abhor violence. We abhor violence. For the first time, the APC came into power, and now you put in security forces so that there will be no violence. So what is wrong? When APC came into power, and then elections started to hold, you see that violence disseminated because what has always happened when PDP was in power is that there was always violence, there was a carrying of ballot boxes, people killing each other, but it won't happen again because I will not shoot you. I will not try anything at the polling units or polling booths when police folks are around or when the military are around. So I don't see any fear.
Madoka, I'm very surprised that he's talking about intimidation. Did you know in 2015 that Ahmad car was parked in front of Orji Kalu's house and the mother? Are you aware?
Yes,
oh, you were aware, and you're asking about these things that you're.
But that
no. We were not bothered.
We're not bothered. So
because what happened was that, despite the armored cars, about 5 or 6 of them parked in Ibere.
Yes.
I still find my way to the polling unit. Each checking point that I come into, I show my PVC. I said, I am only going to vote. And I was allowed to go and vote. Despite the intimidation. APC government will not intimidate anybody. Changing of police commissioners has nothing to do with free and fair election. What it has to do with is security. We need to be secured. Because people are fond of being flagrant of law. Let me put it on record so that anybody who is canvassing for thugs should use his or her family to do so.
Simple.
Use your daughters, use your sons, use your own blood to do the thuggery. That is very important. I want to sound a warning to all Abians that thuggery is not going to be tolerated. Nobody will tolerate it because it borders down on security of lives and property.
Okay.
So, but anybody who wishes to do that should use his own son or daughter to do so.
All right. It's still Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu speaks and Flow 94.9 FM. And I have the duo of the former Deputy Chief of Staff to Abia State Government, Dr. Maduka Okebu, and the Southeast Media Aide to Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu, Honorable Maduka Okoro, here in the studio. My name is Ginika Oluoha. We'll go on a short break. We'll come back to continue on the program. Stay with us.
Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu's